Hey cuties, PeachY here. Welcome back to a new video. And in this video, I want to talk about something that I think we've all felt the effects of, which is that something at Rainbow High is changing, whether it be the prices rising, you getting less for what you're paying, quality dropping, production changing for older dolls, just a lot of stuff. And I feel like it is the right moment right now to talk about it, since we're on the verge of Shadow High Series 2 dropping very soon, a Series 5 core, and a bunch more stuff. So let's get into it. First off, I saw this tweet not long ago from @the_Dolly_News saying that the reason for this change for Shadow High Series 2, for instance, might be that because of the newly brought back line of Monster High, the reboot, MJ might be trying to make these changes to further make these new Shadow High dolls more similar to Monster High, not only in price but also in what you get. Obviously, Monster High dolls come with one doll, one outfit, a extra jacket or clothing piece, and then a lot of snacks, a phone, and a bag. They do not have doll stands or a brush. Oh, they also have a pet. Now, the finalized versions of Shadow High Series 2, because the first versions we saw did not come with any accessories. They did not come with any accessories, a second outfit, or hangers. Now they've made changes to Series 2 that include more accessories and hangers, but still no second outfit. Now these dolls now look way more similar to the Monster High newer dolls, right? They both come with a ton of accessories. They don't come with any snacks, but they both come with phones. They both come with only one outfit. Also, granted, they are missing an extra outfit piece technically, but I do think the layering kind of helps break that apart, because obviously layering happens more with the Rainbow High dolls than it happens with most of the Monster High dolls. Most of them are just wearing one layer and that's it. So I feel like the quantity here of what you're getting is very similar, and the prices are also very similar at $27, I believe. So very similar, obviously, in price. But when we look at the history and obviously Series 1 of Shadow High, it changed. Obviously, it changed. We're no longer getting a second outfit, but I guess, we're getting accessories instead of a second outfit, and we're getting hangers, and Series 1 did not have hangers but a second outfit for the same price. So you're paying the same amount but now for less, which it's weird, and I don't think it's a bad thing, because you're still paying 27, which depends on who you're asking, but I think for most people that's okay, that's fine. But is it still okay if you're missing a second outfit and you're just not getting as much? I saw a similar tweet here that was reshared by @uglyburntdoll on Instagram on their story that mentioned something also between Rainbow High and Monster High, that it's insane how different companies can have such a different quality for dolls that basically cost the same. And then of course, I'm not showing it here, but the picture at the bottom is of the new Shadow High dolls, and then the Monster High actually the Creepover Party dolls. So it seems that the basic, the core line of dolls actually don't cost the exact amount. It's more of the Creepover Party dolls that cost the same amount. The prices are escaping me, but overall, it's basically a comparison between Monster High and Shadow High, the new dolls, and I can totally see it. I mean, the quality is something else, because obviously the quality is different with every company, every doll, and I think maybe they are addressing more of the quality control faults that MJ has had in the past and still has. As we all know, if you go shopping in stores for any kind of Rainbow High doll, it's very likely that you're probably gonna look at different Rainbow High dolls to get one that looks okay than you are to look at Monster High dolls and maybe any defects. Because while dolls of any shape, size, or company may have defects, I feel like it's so much more common with Rainbow High. I mean, it's just also easier to get defects because of the appliance of the makeup, the face-ups, the eye placement, the lashes, and then the skin texture, the pearl, it's the glittery finish. It may be different, stronger on some than it is on others, and then the hair rooting maybe not correctly aligned. The paint job on the sculpted baby hairs may not be placed right. The gel, these are all things that Monster High does not have to deal with. So it is very I mean, it's just listing all these things and then looking at Monster High, it just seems so unproblematic. And then as a consumer, like, what are you gonna pick, right? I mean, if you are, if you're not already like collecting one of these doll lines, which one of these are you more rather to pick if you don't know anything about the doll world? Like, are you gonna pick a Monster High doll that to you maybe has less chance of being a defect in any way, or are you gonna get a Rainbow High doll that, you know, if you are lucky to get them in store, you have a more likely chance of having to pick. And even then, you're having to choose one that might not be perfect in every shape or form. And if you can't go shopping in person, then you have to rely on Amazon. And then ordering, as we all know, is even worse because you never know what you're going to get. You literally don't know. It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. And it's like a whole anxiety trip. So what do you more rather to get? Now that I've talked about all these points, Monster High or Rainbow High, right? I feel like obviously you would think Monster High, but then of course Rainbow High, even with all these defects, people might argue that at the price point it's still a good deal. But now that the price point is still rising and you're getting less, is that still the same? The whole reason for why MJ is changing up their whole design, you know, and like what they come with, the pricing, that can be, you know, argued all day long, but there's changes happening that cannot. It's just factual by now. Now, one of these is that why are we now just getting the Project Runway dolls? A good reason for that could be, which my friend on Instagram reshared this original story by @Ash Silverstone @Dollix Boudoir, commented on what they wrote, saying that the reason why we're now just getting the Project Runway dolls is that they probably tested the waters to see how well these characters would sell first with that cheer line and the winter break line. Now, I actually did not notice, but it makes sense. These two lines did not sell well. Now, why is that the case? It might be because of some defects that we all know happened with the cheer line and the winter break line. Defects were truly horrible, and the prices were also rising, and you just, with the cheer line, you got less. You got literally just one doll, a brush, and that's it. No doll stand, nothing. Now with the winter break stuff, you did get two outfits, one separate outfit, and then you also got like a pair, like a skateboard, or, you know, like some skiing sticks, you know, like so you got like something. It was more like worth your buck. But even then, defects would make that very hard to believe because they were all over the place with the makeup appliance and then the hair being super gelled, like hard as rock. And so they probably tested these two lines first, and then them seeing that they did not sell well probably threw MJ off, and that's why we now had to wait a year to get Project Runway, because these characters just did not sell well. Now, I don't think it's these characters per se that did not sell well. I think it's because like at Dollix Boudoir mentioned here, is that it's because these outfits, these themes that they had for winter break and cheer did not work out, because the kids who are the prime demographic here, they could not they did not have an attachment to these outfits or the storyline that was portrayed here in these dolls. The cheer dolls, the cheer outfits popped up for like barely one half of an episode, and they were never seen again. The winter break line was based off of basically Poppy being she was homesick and we only got to see them in their outfits like for maybe like 2 episodes. So that's obviously the reason why these dolls did not sell well, is because these stories flopped hard, and it was just, you could see right through them and their marketing tactics. Lastly, I want to talk about these differences that we've been seeing with newer versions of dolls and the originals. Here, thanks to @ew.boydoll on Instagram for sharing these comparisons between the latest Robin that they bought and the original. At first glance, you would think they look fine. They look the same, but then you turn them around, you put them side by side, and you can see some differences. For instance, the hair length is shorter on the new one. The hair tone, the color is off as well. The skin tone is lighter on the new one for whatever reason. The stitch work, sewing job on the top and pants is also just off. It's just sloppier. You can tell it's not as put together. I know that these are like the same fabrics. It looks like it's the same thing that they're doing, but it looks more rushed. It looks less, quality wise, and it doesn't look as good executed as the original did. And you can really tell, because as soon as you put them next to each other, you can see that it's little things that MJ is really counting on us as consumers to not notice the difference. But most of us do notice, and most of us can also see that MJ is just full of bull, and that they're cutting corners for no reason, because I've mentioned a ton of issues by now if you're still here with me, and most of us still choose to purchase these rainbow high dolls knowing what we're getting ourselves into. And that means, you know what that means? That means MJ should have enough money to fund the correct amount of resources that they need to properly execute production on these dolls, but they choose not to. And I don't know why. They keep hiking up the prices, giving us less. And I know right now we're all in this high of loving Shadow High Series 2. I love him too, but like, realistically speaking, we're still not getting a second outfit. Yes, we're getting hangers, but we're not. You choose a second outfit or hangers. You tell me. It's not the same. And I don't know why they're changing this whole way of the structure of packaging of dolls, how much you're getting, the prices. It's so much, and I don't know why. I mean, some of it may be necessary to fit with the times, right? But it's just, not all of this can also be explained by inflation. Some of these choices are made by MJ, like, specifically. And listen, I know right now maybe you're thinking, okay, fine, but it's not a big deal. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Let's just keep buying these dolls. Yes, they may have some faults, but what doesn't? And listen, I commend your positivity. I love this. Yes, we need to spread this more in the world. But at the same time, we also got to be realistic here, and we also got to realize that we as the consumers, we hold a certain power with our money, because money speaks. Money is the language that companies understand. So I feel like until we don't send a clear signal to MJ that we want the quality we deserve for the prices we're paying, it'll just get worse. We'll have to pay more for just less, and it's already happening. Costume ball, you get one doll and nothing else, not even any accessories, which thankfully Shadow High Series 2 is coming with accessories, but now they're going to use it as an excuse to price it as the same price as an original that came with 2 outfits. So you see what I mean here? It's happening all over again. We're getting less for more, we're paying more for less. It's getting worse right before our eyes. We have to do something about this, because if we don't do it now, I'm telling you, it'll just get worse next year. I'm predicting this. Anyways, sorry, that went for so much longer than I wanted to, but this was an interesting conversation, at least that I had with with myself. I don't know. I feel like this is it's fascinating in both good and bad, because it shines a spotlight on the differences that have been happening production wise and quality wise and just price wise with Rainbow High as a whole, for over 3 years now. Is it like 2019 they started, and now it's like, oh my god, yeah. So time is running, and I don't even know how much longer Rainbow High is gonna stay relevant like this. I don't know. I'm feeling next year it'll be a little bit slower, and I feel like MJ knows this already, and that's why they want to take advantage as much as they can right now to make more money, so they can make up for it when it doesn't do as well, if that makes sense. But anyways, that was the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. You know the drill. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss out when I post more content like this coming your way daily and keeping you up to date with all the doll tea you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time. Stay peachy. Kisses.